Good morning, and we're going to talk about different types of writing that you do for school, so, or outside of school. What type of writing do you do outside of school? Do you remember some things that we've talked about before?
Texting.
Texting.
Also, notes.
Writing a note to somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else besides Priscilla?
Typing.
Typing. Okay, what would you type, Julieta? Were you talking about for school or outside of school?
Outside of school.
Okay, what kind of typing would you do? On your phone or on your computer?
Your computer.
Oh, okay, and who are you typing something to?
To the newspaper.
Oh, to the newspaper. You're going to write to the newspaper?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you ever done that?
No.
No. Do you know anyone who has?
Miss Coffee.
Yeah. Okay. So I've talked about it before and you remembered, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes there are people who do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also we had just like maybe you're leaving a note for mom and you write a note.
Yeah.
But now you have your phone, so what do you do? Text. Mostly text. Okay.
But sometimes it even knows.
Yeah, and what did we talk about the kind of language that you use when you're texting? How is that different from the kind that your teachers ask you to use in school? That's something for us to know? Nope. So when I'm asking you to write a paper for my class, do I want you to use the kinds of words that you use in texting?
No.
Why? What's different about the texting?
Because you might use different words that you don't want to put on your paper.
Okay, that's true. You might
maybe you're talking a conversation and then you use some words that you don't want to put on the paper.
Okay. And what other kinds of words do we use in texting? Do we use full spellings or what?
We use abbreviations.
Abbreviations, right?
Yeah.
Right, good, okay. So we've got a couple different ways that we write, and when we write for school, do you know what kinds of writing we do in school? What does a teacher ask you to write for? A prompt.
Yeah.
A cold write. What's a cold write? Can you define it? Okay. It means that you have to write right then, like without any maybe prior. Are you not reading a story first? You're just writing?
No.
Okay. Okay, so cold means it's out of your head, right? Okay. When they ask you to write, there's usually purposes for writing. So the prompt is going to help you, and I had a prompt for you for this writing activity that we did, which was, not in front of me right this second. The prompt had to do with, there were 3 things in the prompt, but the prompt had to do with things that we had read, so it wasn't a cold write, right? And some documentaries that we had watched. So what do you call those, do you remember what we call those things that we read and watch?
History?
It could be historical. We call them sources. So sources are, it could be media or it could be written text. And sources are the things that we're using so that when we write our paper, which we're going to write an opinion piece, which is kind of like an argumentative. You're going to take the information that you read about and the information you gained from the documentary, and you're going to put it together so that you can tell what your opinion is about those, whether or not you thought that the people that we looked at were worthy of being on our money, right? Okay, so does anybody remember what one of the stories was about? Marian Anderson, okay. And that was in one of the articles, and then we watched a documentary. Does anybody else remember somebody's name that we? Harriet Tubman, thank you. And then we had a third person, and it was actually a group of people. The Cherokee. Okay, so we had 3 groups, and our prompt, if I could borrow yours, because I think yours is right here. prompt was having read about Harriet Tubman and watching movies about Marian Anderson and the Trail of Tears, which was the movement of the Cherokee from their homeland, right? The Trail of Tears was the movement off their land when they got kicked off their land. Then it tells you to write a 3-paragraph essay. Now here's the things that the prompt also tells you. It tells you to describe what contributions these people made to our society, and that could be 1 paragraph. Details certain key political figures who helped or hindered their efforts, that could be another paragraph. And then explain whether or not you think, this is your opinion, they deserve to be historical heroes. What kind of tools do we use sometimes to help us think about our writing? Do you remember what those are called?
The story.
We use the sources, the stories, and the documentaries. But what do we do on paper if we're trying to get the story out? We might do a cold, just, what do you call it when it's, you're getting your ideas down? A flow map maybe, or some kind of graphic organizer, some kind of drawing with maybe circles and lines on it. So we have different kinds of maps. Can you think of one of the maps that we've used or that you've used in another class that has
A bubble map.
a bubble map?
Like a big one, the middle one and the big one out.
Okay. And how about the one that is like for compare and contrast? Because we're going to need to compare.
Oh yeah, you use a circle right here, and then another one, and then another one, circle right here.
Okay, so you have some blank paper in front of you, and I'm going to go ahead and use the space on the writing prompt. You also could use this space if you can find yours. I'm going to go ahead and use yours as the sample, Julia.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some information about Harriet Tubman. And I'm just going to put Harriet's name up there on that one level.
That's small Harriet.
Yeah, it is. You can make it bigger if you want. Can you read it, or is that too small for you?
Too small.
Okay, so I'll make it bigger for you. All right. So there's Harriet's bubble. Who else do we need a bubble for? The Cherokee. Okay. So Cherokee. And then maybe a big bubble for, and I'm not fitting on there, so I'm gonna go out so you can see all the circles, and then I'll zero back in so you can see the writing. And this one was Marian Anderson. And we can talk about what should go in these bubbles, but if we don't remember what goes in the bubbles, what would we do?
Go back to the story.
Go back to the story, or go back to our notes, right? So we had some notes already from the Tubman article. We had it broken into paragraphs. We had the second article about Harriet Tubman that included Marian Anderson and the Trail of Tears. Then we had the Marian Anderson documentary and the Trail of Tears documentary. And we had notes on all of that. And those were also posted on School Loop for you to access at home. So what is our purpose? Well, your purpose is not only to tell me in writing in paragraph form what you come up with, but in a certain way. So you need to tell me what their contributions are. So what's a contribution? Does anybody know what that big word means? Contribution. Okay, so if you don't know what the word means, how could you find out? Look in the story. Do you think that was in the story, or do you think that was just in my prompt? Right. what kinds of tools do we have to help us figure out, so in the prompt it says, describe what contributions these people made to our society. What do you think that means? They did something to the society.
Change the society.
They changed it, so what could the contribution be? Have you ever contributed anything to let's say, I don't know if you ever have people, come to your door and
Oh, yeah.
they ask for money for, their sports team, that their high school, that they're selling something, or they're asking for a donation.
Yeah.
So if I contribute something, I'm giving something. So we could use the synonym giving for contribute. Describe what, and we'd have to change the words a little bit, describe what these people give to our society. What did these people give to our society? So what did Harriet give? What was one thing Harriet gave?
Freedom. Freedom.
Freedom, okay. And we might wanna also ask how she did that. You already want me to make that bigger. Okay, so we'll just zero in on Harriet. And can you read my writing?
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom, okay. So we're just looking at Harriet now. And this helps our mind to not be so scattered, because when I look at describe what contributions these people make, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much information, right? And I could sit down and start writing, but I might get confused. If I have a graphic organizer that can help me organize my thoughts, graphic organizer, graphic means you're drawing it, like the circles, and you can draw as many circles as you need, right? If you had more people to compare. So freedom is one thing that Harriet contributed. Harriet gave this to her society. What was her society like then?
Segregated.
Segregated. What does that mean?
Split.
Split. Okay. So they had two kinds of people?
Yeah.
Okay, and what were those two kinds of people?
White and black.
White and black. Okay, and what was Harriet?
Black.
Okay. And so she wanted freedom for black people?
Yeah.
Okay. How did she do that?
She escaped by using a path.
A path. Do you remember what the path was called?
Underground railroad.
Right. So she was the leader of the Underground Railroad. So we can put leader of. And Fred, are you keeping up with us? You can't see it? Okay.